Cool, so quickly just to go over the disclaimer, please read this with care. This video is not financial advice. Crypto is volatile and highly risky. No results are guaranteed. This content is for experienced users only, and there's a full legal disclaimer in the description below. Hi guys, in today's video, I want to run you through some top meme coins to buy in August 2025 that have got quite a bit of potential. Here I want to, before I jump into that, just explain my story with meme coins. So I've not really been involved much in meme coins, that much, because I've kind of always tried to get into large caps and kind of different types of altcoins that have been available. But what I have realised is that by not getting involved in some of these meme coins, I am missing out. And I've missed out on some of these absolutely crazy runs that we've seen, especially across the likes of Doge, Pepe, and Shib. The list basically goes on. But what I have done by that is I've kind of tried to take some learnings from that and applied that as we go forward. Again, at the end of the day, there's the old expression, which is if you can't beat them, join them. So again, we're going to try and enter some of these coins to try and make some money. I want to share that with you and just do that in a safe way with a profit-taking strategy. So again, let's kind of jump into it. The first one I've got here is Dog with Hat. I'm sure you guys have probably seen this. It's absolutely just ripped from the start. But again, it's crashed massively hard, kind of along with how the market is, but we're starting to see a bit of a pickup of it at the moment. I just wanted to run you through why I think Dog with Hat has potential. Again, it's on the Solana network, as you guys know, low transaction fees. Solana is incredibly cheap to use compared to ETH, Bitcoin, any coin really I've used is so cheap, and that is what you want when you're trading, because it's money. We don't want to lose money, guys. Next one, it's incredibly fast. I can vouch for that as well. Probably the fastest one I've used as well. You send something within a couple minutes, you have the coin, rather than Bitcoin can take. Even in some cases for me, it's taken up to like an hour and a half to send some things through. But again, this is looking fine. Again, strong ecosystem. Solana's got the DeFi, it's got the memes, and it's got the kind of infrastructure in place along with a massive community to help grow it. So that's one part of the equation. Secondly, these guys have got cash, which is really quite funny. So I don't know if you guys have seen the Sphere here, and I believe that's in Vegas. And they're not prepared to market here, guys. A lot of companies and meme coins are just they want to use the money to make themselves a lot of money for the founders, but these guys, they're prepared to spend money, which is really interesting. And again, you're able to buy Dog with Hat on a couple tier 1 exchanges such as Coinbase and Crypto.com, which is incredible. You need high accessibility and you want people to be able to buy with from different places. That's what you want. You don't want a coin really that isn't on any exchanges. It just makes it really hard to buy. But again, it does pose a unique offering, and I will talk about that later. The next one is it's got a really big following, and it's really funny. 153,000 people are followed to a Dog with Hat here. And again, just the next thing here with the community, they raised 700k this Sphere. And again, this might sound a bit silly, but again, it's another dog narrative. I know WIF versus Doge, two dogs competing. We know that the crypto community likes dogs, so again, it's just another this dog is better than that dog type of thing. Again, WIF at the moment is currently sitting at $1 billion market cap. It's seeing an incredible amount of inflows at the moment compared to a lot of other coins, which is really good to see. It's showing that people are interested in it, and again, especially at these lower points here, it's kind of poised to do well. It's set up very nicely. So Doge achieved a 74 billion market cap last run. From current standings, if WIF can achieve just a quarter of what Doge did last run, that will be a 19x from here. Again, it's got the added benefit of being a newer coin, so it's less established, and it's got a positive volatility, more room to grow, in my opinion. So $90 WIF, in my opinion, is on the cards. Don't wait for this. Utilise the 20% cash out strategy, as we mentioned many times on here, and we're here to win. Make sure when you hold coins, you take profits, guys. It's going to be a long time before we get any crazy run again. Make sure you have a plan together to make some money. So next one I'm going to talk about here is Brett. So Brett is quite an interesting one because at the moment this hasn't gone. A lot of meme coins have started to go recently with the massive run up that we've seen with ETH over the last month or two, but Brett hasn't gone. So why Brett? What's interesting about that? So Brett's a leading coin on MemeBase. It's a Coinbase that's layer 2 blockchain, and this base is growing fast. It's increasing the TVL, and along with the adoption, meme coins here especially tend to perform quite well when they're the face of a growing chain like Doge and Bitcoin. Again, Shiba on Ethereum because there was a whole narrative about each other being on different chains, and now we're starting to see that with Solana and Brett here again and again. As Base gains traction, Brett benefits indirectly from Base's success. So again, we're seeing Brett's not really yet on any tier 1s, but as I mentioned before, this does pose the kind of opportunity here that the floodgates can open if it does then get listed on tier 1 exchanges, because although it is listed on these, there's not as many users here. So again, it's looking at that price action here, the 558 million market cap, that could easily go up if it is then listed on some tier 1 exchanges because of the higher accessibility to the coins. Again, not listed on any ones. If it does, it will open up floodgates, and in that case, you could potentially consider yourself early to the mainstream adoption of it, if that does end up happening. Again, this example, market cap 550 million, meaning a lot of upside potential. 10x again is in play here. I think 5.5 billion is definitely on the cards for something like this. Again, the narrative on the base, and then just 5.5 billion is definitely possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but when you compare it to the likes of Doge with the 75 billion, I believe that was, 5.5 billion doesn't seem like much, right? Again, but we likely are going to need the help of the tier 1 exchanges. Don't wait for a 5.5 billion market cap to happen. It might not happen again, but make sure we take profit, and we take profits in the same way that we mentioned before. Essentially, if this is an example of the top of the start of the cycle, you take 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%. You can then leave the last 20% like that. Cash out as you go up, guys. We're here to win. We're not here to lose. Cool. So let's just jump into the last, and by no means least, Dog. This is a really, really interesting one. So Dog, you've probably not heard of this because it is quite under the wraps a little bit at the moment, but it is growing. It really is growing, and it's interesting. I'm going to explain to you why I think it's probably the biggest opportunity here out of all of them. Again, my story is I've been buying Dog near the peak, so again, it hasn't been around for that long, since 2024. I was buying at the top here, so I took some profits from H-bar and I funneled it into here. And then, as everything started to crash around this period, I started DCA back in, so now it's looking pretty good. But again, that's just my story, letting you know that I'm actually actively involved in this one. So I discovered it around the 1 billion mark, and this was before any listings. Again, at the moment, it's sitting at 352 million. So again, Dog, it's got an incredibly large community. Again, it's got, 200,000 views for a meme coin here on Twitter. When you compare that to lots of other meme coins, who's getting that much engagement from a meme coin? Not many people, especially with the kind of narrative that it has. Not many of these other coins are being able to get this kind of community engagement. You look at the vast majority of them and they're not getting it. Again, it's got spot listing on Kraken now, which is incredible, and there's rumours now that Dog is going to be listed on Binance next month. So again, that's the biggest exchange, which in theory means that will be the biggest amount of people at once that will newly get access to Dog. So again, that's really positive. We're seeing actual businesses start to acquire Dog, which I find really actually quite crazy. There's actually businesses buying up meme coins actively and promoting it. Again, why would a business do this? You know, they've already made money, so they're going to use this to try and make even more money. They wouldn't be buying it if they thought the price was going to go down. But you might be thinking, what is Dog like? And what is that? I never heard of it. So Dog is the biggest meme coin on Bitcoin. It's a new narrative. It's got a small market cap, around 370 million. It's got an incredibly engaged and active community. And again, this is what Doge and SHIB had at the time. Don't know if you guys were around back then. I wasn't really back involved, but when I've looked back and I looked at all the tweets and activity that was posted, this was the kind of things that we were seeing with those guys. It's a dog, again, like I mentioned before, that narrative against Doge and with, etc. It makes a bit of a competition, which is quite funny, but dog tokens have performed well. And again, on this, you are essentially early, because you're before any large, like, multiple exchanges have been listed. So again, like I mentioned that before, again, and another amazing thing is that the allocation and the circulating supply is already all out there for dog. It was free and fairly distributed via an airdrop, which means there's no insider allocation which can rug you. You can't be rugged with dog, just based because of the airdrop, fair and freely distributed. Again, so let's go. So how can dog possibly do a 50x? You might think this is insane, but hear me out, guys. I'm not saying it's going to do it, but I'm saying it has the potential to do that, and even more. So looking at it, 352 million market cap. Mentioned before, Doge hit 74 billion back in the last run. Dog is currently sitting at 350 million. Theoretically, if it could hit the same price that Doge did last run, it would be a 200x. I'd say that's not going to happen, to be completely honest. But if exchanges continue to list dog, what is there to say it can't achieve 25% of what Doge did last run? This would put dog at around 18.5 billion market cap. And this would land dog around 50x return. Again, it's on the Bitcoin. It's the biggest meme coin on Bitcoin, which is like no other coin. No other coin has this narrative. It's really interesting to see. Dog's newer, got more potential for upside, and could be more explosive than a majority of other coins. But I just want to say, patience wins in these games, and remember that coins take turns. So if you might see ADA pumps, you might see Solana pump, you might see Chainlink, etc., etc., and you might be thinking, what's dog doing? I'm going to sell it. Like I'm not making any money. You've got to be patient. Coins take turn. Dog's time will most likely come, and it should be after a lot of the other altcoins go, because of how the money flow works. A lot of the money comes into Bitcoin, then flows into ETH, then the large caps, and then, in theory, towards the end, the meme coins. Crazy meme coin season like we saw last time. So guys, I hope this can be somewhat helpful for you guys. I hope I can provide some value. I wouldn't necessarily say that you should buy them, but I would say it's worth maybe doing some research on them, and then you can kind of make your own decision from there. So thank you guys. Have a really good day.